What's up, Dragon Brood? So, today I'm just going to talk about my opinions on the Black is Magic Secret Lair. I have a bunch of people reaching out to me asking me, what's your opinion? How do you feel? What do you think about the cards? And I just kind of want to touch on everything, because obviously, for those of you who don't know, I have a podcast called Color Magic, and we've talked about this over the last couple of weeks. And me and my co-host, Brian Allen, who's also DL Caesar here on YouTube, check him out, please. We have actually spent time talking to other gamers. There's Black gaming communities on Discord and Facebook and whatnot that we've spoken to. Friends of ours. To try to just really see, okay, how do our opinions line up with everybody else's? Are we in the majority, minority? How does that work? And truth be told, we actually really like this whole thing. I mean, here's the deal. Let's start off with just the effort itself, right? This is a product that they're going to be donating what sounds like the majority of the proceeds, if not all of them, to a really good charity with Black Girls Code. So you can only be so upset about it to begin with. And then it's also going to be priced pretty much normal. The last time we saw a big donation or a big charity Secret Lair like this, they actually had it priced higher and gave the difference. Here, no, that's it. It's normal. So it's hard to be upset about. Even the fact that you can get it in regular and foils. So if you're worried about your foils being bent, because that's still a thing for some reason, you can just get regular ones. So it's all good. No real complaints there. Now, some people said, how do you feel about the profiteering of it? Is it some type of appropriation? Do you feel like Wizards just taking money for supporting a black cause? Yes and no. Here's the thing. Companies are going to make money. We know that. In this case, they're at least doing it in a way that benefits a charity and a good cause. So it's very hard to complain about that. And then, are they really making that much money if they're donating it? Not really. And it looks like an opportunity for several new artists to get to do Magic cards. That's awesome. And the artwork is great. It's great depictions of Black culture. It's Teferi with his family. It's kids, playing in a garden. And the flavor text on some of the cards is amazing. What is there to be upset about with this? Now, don't get me wrong. I've talked about it on the channel. I've talked about it on my podcast. Any of you have seen me stream. Yes, Wizards of the Coast has some issues. No doubt. And we've talked about those. Nothing wrong with that. Acknowledging that, totally understandable. But at the same time, I also have to acknowledge, like we say on our podcast, if we're going to call out the bad behavior, we also have to acknowledge the good behavior. Recently hired a diversity director. That's cool. I don't know, maybe this person had input on this project. I don't know what the timeline was. But here you are now, putting out a product to depict Black culture and to also donate to a Black charity. You got to acknowledge positive steps. No, I'm not saying this solves everything and that doesn't make up for all the ills that have been, but it's positive steps in that direction. And we have to acknowledge that. Now, talking about the individual cards, I think it's awesome. I think the cards chosen are great because these are cards that people actually want. These are cards people want to put into their commander decks and want to play with. And that's awesome. Because it's one thing to put the art on cards, but it's another to put them on cards people will play with so they're seen. I think that's always a big thing. One of the things we talk about, as we talk about racial diversity and whatnot, we often say it's one thing to tell somebody they are welcome at your table. It's another thing to invite someone personally to sit at your table. And that's sort of what it feels like, right? If you just made a card that nobody's going to play with, okay, well, you did a thing, but who's going to see it? But when you put it on Soul Rings, on Cultivates, those are cards people play with. People will see those and ask about them and comment on them. And that's what you want. So even as far as that goes, I'm on board. And one of the interesting things is that they chose not to have a singular black card or red card. And I'm actually okay with that. One of the things we were concerned about is when we initially saw the first cards, which I believe were Shalai, that was white, and maybe Cultivate, that was green, I believe were the first two. When we saw those, we was like, okay, well, they're probably holding off on the red and black cards because that's kind of the stereotypical thing to do. So you don't want to get too close to the edges. And you know what? It turned out okay. Nothing wrong with that. No black card, no red card, and no one's really upset about it. And honestly, I think it's a good idea. If you didn't feel you could do a safe way to do it with the history that you've had, or knowing the tensions in society and being able to read the room, I am totally fine with somebody just saying, you know what, let's just not do these and let's do these others instead. Because honestly, regardless of if those were even an option or what they could have done, what we got turned out great. Seriously. All of these are cards that people will want to use to play with. They go in different decks, a couple even in competitive decks, so that's kind of cool. There's people I know who have never bought Secret Lairs that are going to buy this. I might even buy a couple so I have one to open just to put stuff in my commander deck and then maybe sit on the other. I don't know, or gift it to somebody possibly. This is really, really cool. So, you want my opinion and that of myself and the show? I've talked with Brian. I have no problem speaking on his behalf. We're giving it a thumbs up. I like it. I think the product's good. I think it's interesting. I think the artwork's neat. I like having new artists with new art styles. The card playability is high. This is don't get me wrong. I have problems, with some of the stuff Wizards has done, as do many people. And there's things around the game, like I mentioned, with the foils, right? That's a thing. But on this particular product, in a vacuum, the complaints I could have are so minimal, they're non-existent. This product checks the boxes, A+, good by me. And I'm gonna buy a couple. Now, some of you may feel differently. Feel free to let me know in the comments below why you don't agree, or what you think is wrong, or what could have been better. I don't know. But this isn't a thing we see very often. It's cool to see a big company really supporting a good cause. It even has a long order window, so you don't have to worry about if you miss it this week while it's available because payday's not there, you can't balance your budget or whatever. You get, I think, 3 weeks or something to order it. So awesome. They've done everything right with this product to make it a pass. I'm excited about it. I'm gonna pick it up. I'm not gonna tell anybody else what they should do or how you should feel. But with the number of people that have reached out to me and asked, or popped up in my Discord or on my streams or whatever, I just wanted to put this out here so people knew kind of just my opinions on it. I'm just one person. I've only got my 10,000 subscribers or whatever and followers elsewhere. But at least there's a perspective you have from somebody. I know I did have somebody reach out because they were curious and said, hey, I kind of like this, but I don't want to buy it if it's something the black gamer community doesn't like, or they feel it's some type of appropriation. I've encountered a person. Now, I'm not going to say they're the only one, but of the probably couple of hundred that I've talked to, they're the one person that actually had an issue with it. And just personal perspective, some life issues, we discussed it. Great. They're entitled to that opinion. I am not going to try to talk them off that ledge and tell them they should feel differently. But I can tell you that the largely overwhelming majority of the black gaming and black magic community in particular are in favor of this product. So if you want to buy it, go buy it guilt-free. Go for it. And again, leave me a comment down below and let me know how you feel about the product. Is it something you like or plan to buy? Or would you like to see stuff like this for other causes? Or whatever. I think it could be a good discussion. And be civil, be cool. Don't be a jerk down there. We're just trying to have a discussion. And if you haven't, please do me a favor. Like this video so it gets in front of other people. Hit the subscribe button to show me you appreciate it. And then hit the notification bell and you'll get notified every single time I have a video up. But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.